Rush though. There's a big rumor going around
maybe.
There's a big rumor going around that Nia and Tamina are going to be big factors for the big contenders for the newly upcoming women's tag team titles. So her being Raw Women's Champion doesn't make any sense. Like I don't see them trying to make her a double champion and all that. Plus, it's Ronda Rousey, and of course they're the big match that's going on for WrestleMania. So, yeah,
not happening at all.
I'm not looking forward to this match.
Yeah, but thankfully we're going to have yet another. We're likely to have yet another palate cleanser right after that, like this one perhaps. Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles.
Daniel Bryan. He is the most entertaining thing happening on SmackDown.
Second most.
Male-wise.
There you go.
Male-wise, he is the most interesting thing going on SmackDown. This heel turn is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And his match with Mustafa Ali was awesome.
That was a treat.
His promo beforehand, awesome.
What kind of car do you drive?
SUV. You're a small man. Why do you need such a big car? Well, I have a wife and family. What was it that he was saying when he was slapping him?
What was it, like a idiot or something?
Yeah, like stupid. No, it wasn't stupid.
Daniel Bryan is a master. He is a flat-out master.
Here's a scholar's quick talk for you.
I'm all ears.
Do you think Daniel Bryan needs to change his theme song?
I would say no. Mostly because there's still worth to keeping it that way, just because it's so well known. Like as soon as that first second hits, the sting, you know instantly who it is. Plus, it can still be used as a heel theme song. Like it doesn't have to be that dramatic or anything.
I kind of look at it as kind of pulling when Stone Cold turned heel when he signed with Vince McMahon. Have it be similar to Flight of the Valkyries, but
it is Flight of the Valkyries.
Have it be Flight of the Valkyries, but like a different version, like a darker version. Like Stone Cold had a darker version of his theme song when he turned heel. Or when he was a part of the Alliance, he had like 3 different theme songs when he turned heel. There was the slower, and then there's the
I just drank like 5 cups of coffee and pretending I'm David Draymond.
I feel like it should be something similar like that.
Well, I think it would all depend on the execution. Like I'm sure there's so many ways you can do Flight of the Valkyries that, there's a few ways I can see it going right, and then like a dozen different ways I can see it being just like an ear sore.
Mm-hmm.
But all that aside, yeah, I'm definitely picking Daniel Bryan to win, and I'm very, very entertained by his current heel run as the new Daniel Bryan.
And I just love reading like comments and all that of like the casual audience just hating on him now. I'm like, we've talked about it before.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be something big to try and get Daniel Bryan to be a heel, and to which people hate you.
Mm-hmm.
And he succeeded.
Yep.
He really did.
That's why I said he's a master.
He really is.
Mm-hmm. Now, finally, for the match I think we've all been waiting for.
Most likely going to be the main event of this show.
It damn well better. Becky Lynch versus Asuka versus Charlotte Flair. Triple threat match for the women's tag title.
Who do you got?
I tell you what, I've been hearing more and more of this as the days have been going on, and we're getting closer. Obviously, we all know what the end game is for Becky Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania.
Yep. I'm looking forward to that.
The question is, how are we getting there? And popular word is, or popular opinion, or popular prediction, however you want to put it, that Becky is going to have to lose her title, and then she's transferring over to Raw to go after Ronda Rousey. To that end, I can see her winning. I can see Becky Lynch winning the Women's Royal Rumble next month. But in the meantime, I can see Asuka taking the belt here. After the way she looked on this past week's SmackDown, Charlotte has already had a bunch of different title reigns, and she's going to have more in the future. But not only do we need to get the title off Becky right now, I think after all this and all the presence that Asuka's had, I honestly believe that Asuka's due. Fool, who do you got?
This was actually the last match I actually chose for my predictions, not just because it's what I'm choosing to be the main event, but this one was the hardest. But the one thing that wasn't hard was I 100% agree. Becky's not keeping the belt after this match, and she's going to win the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
That's an early prediction for me, and I'm sure it's an early prediction for most of us.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's just lying the question: who will get the women's championship between Charlotte and Asuka? And in my personal opinion, I'm also going to go with Asuka, because for the past couple weeks they have definitely fixed whatever momentum she lost since losing to Charlotte at WrestleMania.
Goodness.
And yeah, thank goodness for that. Being the one person who actually earned her right to go through the entire women's SmackDown women's division, and me being a huge Charlotte fan, I don't see her winning this. Winning the women's title. I see her being a huge factor in the women's Royal Rumble too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm honestly not gonna lie. I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled John Cena, Batista, and have both people land their feet. Like, have both of them land their feet on the floor at the same time and having it be a triple threat match, since she's just as big a factor for the Ronda Rousey thing as Becky. So, but yeah, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying she has just as much right to be in that part of that as well.
Storyline-wise, you're completely on track.
That's how I look at this, storyline-wise.
Storyline-wise, you're completely on track. Personally, I think I'm following my gut here.
Just say you're following your heart. That's your thing on this show. You follow your heart more than the three of us.
Very true. However, this is not, when I say my heart, I'm talking about I'm following my emotions. When I'm saying I'm following my gut, it's more of an instinct that based on what I've been seeing and what's being presented to me. Therefore, in this case, yes, I am following my gut a lot. And right now, my gut is telling me that even though that what you're totally saying makes total sense as far as the feud goes, I've got a feeling that they're probably going to follow the hype instead for this. And the final outcome of this is already on track to being Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey one-on-one at WrestleMania for the Women's Championship.
But that's also the question on what Vince McMahon wants,
and
how big of a Charlotte fan he is. He was trying so hard to push Charlotte as the female Roman Reigns. I don't see him giving up on her that easily.
I'm not saying he's going to give up on her. I'm saying that she's being temporarily sidelined to cash the Becky Lynch check. And from what I'm seeing and from what I've been seeing, that they're already taping a Becky Lynch documentary for the network, which tells me that they want to capture this entire arc. They got some big plans for Becky Lynch. Her appearances have been selling out in 90 seconds. And if you go on the WWEshop.com, on the WWE shop, if you've been on there for any length of time, you've seen that they'll have sales. They'll be like, okay, buy one get one T-shirt for $1, or 30% off on Monday Night Raw days or something. You know what one shirt and what one item is never ever on sale that they always sell at full price? The Becky Lynch man shirts. They know that Becky is money right now. She's super freaking hot. And they're going to milk this for every single dime it is.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. But I'm also adding the fact that Vince's original plan was to have Ronda Rousey and Charlotte. Becky just became pretty much the people's champion, and it would be really stupid to not cash in on that, which they're not stupid. They are going to cash in on this. So I'm saying, like, yeah, it's going to be Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey are definitely going to be at Mania. But there is that big possibility that Vince McMahon is going to continue getting what he wants because it's still his company. He still gets final say, and if he wants to have Charlotte in that match, who he still is trying to push as the women's Roman Reigns, especially considering not just the name of Flair, just everything she's accomplished already. This is, and if you're going to have a women's match main event WrestleMania, which we're not going to lie, this is going to main event. It would main event Mania.
It would be foolish to do anything else at this point. That's at least true.
So I say it's these three. I'd say it's going to be these three.
Okay, now I've got a Scholar's Quick Talk for you. Let's say this is what ends up happening. We do the triple threat at WrestleMania. Becky, Charlotte, Ronda. Let's say this is exactly what happens. Do we get Ronda versus Becky one-on-one earlier? Like, let's say the Royal Rumble. Do we get that one-on-one match beforehand?
Maybe not at Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. There's Elimination Chamber and one other event that's between Rumble and Mania.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
actually a really
tough call.
That is a tough call.
I think now that we're talking about it out loud like this, I think it's going to depend on. Yeah, we definitely know that the end game is going to involve Ronda and Becky at the very least. The other matches that we get are going to be completely dependent on the path we take to get there. And I think, honestly, the more I'm thinking about this, the more I think that is going to inform all of our predictions right up until WrestleMania, how we're going to get there. And this, I think, is going to be a bigger step than we first realized to how we get to WrestleMania.
I'm just also looking at the fact that Charlotte has been involved in every historic women's match that they've had. First ever Hell in a Cell. Oh, except the first ever Women's Royal Rumble. That's the only thing, because she was champion at the time. So, obviously, she can't be in the match if she's champion. But she's the only woman that's held every single women's title available. The NXT Women's Championship, the Divas Women's Championship, both Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship. First ever Hell in a Cell. She's now going to be in the TLC. What match did she have? No, she's been in pretty much most, like, if not all, of the historic women's factors. I say this is just another factor of her being involved in this one, because she's pretty much Triple H of the women's division.
You're not wrong.
So it's still just the factor. Yes, these women are going to be involved somehow. Just
to what
just
extent?
The question, just to the extent
We'll
on how much. Yeah.
All right. So finally, those are our predictions for WWE TLC 2018. Now we're turning it over to you, our listening audience. Who's going to win? Who's going to lose? How are we going to get to WrestleMania? What matches are we going to see? Now it's time to let us know. So if you're joining us on Facebook, run a search for the Scholars of Wrestling Show. Put in your predictions. If you're joining us on YouTube, like us, comment us. You know the drill. Do whatever the kids are doing these days. I'm not old. You're old. Or, for more fun, you can also check us out on Twitter, starting with our main account at ScholarsOW for all the latest episode uploads.